Pregame.com.
Welcome back to pregame.tv. We're going to look at a second Sunday night football game. It won't have the national coverage that Houston, San Francisco is going to have, but we've got San Diego Superchargers at the Raiders.
Well, if you have the NFL Network, it's going to be on the NFL Network, so you will get the national coverage, but you've got to have NFL Network.
There you go. And I don't know that I really want to watch this one, but the Oakland Raiders, Matt Flynn experiment lasted all of 1 week. Not only, one, Terrell Pryor's coming back this week, and he was the starter, out with the concussion. He's back, so okay, you go back to the bench as the backup. No. They've taken Matt Flynn, and he's demoted to third string. I mean, wow, this is a guy that one game was the Green Bay-Detroit game.
You know what, here's the thing, though, too. I'm not going to, they got off to that 14-0 start on Washington, and I'm not going to blame it all on Matt Flynn. That offensive line is one of the worst in NFL football right now. It's definitely one of the worst three offensive lines in football.
Worse than the Steelers?
Well, your Steelers decimated with injuries, too. I mean, but the thing is, and you look at both those quarterbacks, Flynn, Roethlisberger, they're not scramblers. They're not guys. Terrell Pryor makes a difference because, yeah, he's got to run for his life, but he's going to make plays. He can improvise. Matt Flynn's not that type of guy.
Yeah, it's, Washington, obviously we knew that, sooner or later, RG3 would start to play better, and Washington just has too much talent to be going 0-4, that they were staring at. And
they should have beat Detroit. They a couple bonehead.
That was a game that could have went either way for sure. But we look at this one, and, my question to you, Ken, is the surprise to me is San Diego. I mean, I'll admit Oakland's a bad team, but they're not as bad as I thought they were coming into the season. They've shown, a little bit of life here and there. And, if it wouldn't be for the injuries, like you said, with the offensive line play and everything, they've been in a couple games. They actually won a game. Of course, that was against Jacksonville. But San Diego, I don't think anybody saw this coming. They're playing, they're only 2-2, but they've been in every ball game.
There is no doubt this team should be 4-0. And when you lose a Denorio Alexander who stepped up big time last year for them receiving core right before the beginning of the year, that hurts. When you lose a Malcolm Floyd early in the Philadelphia game 2, that hurts. All of a sudden you're thinking, oh, here it goes again. They've had so much trouble. We talked about off the air your Pittsburgh Steelers just being decimated year after year on the offensive line. I remember it happened to UCLA quarterbacks like 3 years in a row. They just couldn't keep a quarterback healthy. Here's the same scenario here, receiving core for the Chargers. They just couldn't keep Vincent Jackson, Malcolm Floyd, Antonio Gates healthy. Then Jackson goes off to Tampa. Then it's Gates and Floyd that are always banged up, always questionable. Then you lose Denorio Alexander, who really stepped in and plugged the void last year.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers, it's like a rebirth. And, Turner was the head coach, and he was always supposed to be an offensive genius. But the last several years, Phillip Rivers was regressing badly, and he had a horrible year last year. This guy's putting up monster numbers, and he's had, last week he was 35 of 42 against Dallas for 394. He had a game earlier this year, the Philadelphia game, when they were going up and down the field, both teams, 36 of 47 for 413. What's going on with him? Why all of a sudden is he so good? Did the coaching change make that much of a difference on Phillip Rivers?
No. First off, though, he, as much as we talk about the Raiders' offensive line being decimated, San Diego's offensive line has been very stout, and they've protected Rivers nicely. And if he doesn't make a couple mental errors himself, one, the ball he's trying to throw away against Houston where Cushing picks it up and runs to tie that game up. That was a key blow. And then same thing against Tennessee. They squandered defensively down the stretch, letting the receiver get behind him in the waning seconds. This team is that close to being 4-0, and that would have been whacked. You'd have Denver, Kansas City, and San Diego all sitting at 4-0.
Yeah, who would have thought that? Well, you know what? This is your free pick. Let's make it official.
Let's do it. This is one short and simple, no notes, no teleprompter, just going with San Diego. I love the way this team's playing, and I'll be there next week, a week from this Monday upcoming, to see them up close and personal. Well, I hope they'll lose that game because they'll be taking on my Indianapolis Colts, so I'll be pulling for the Colts. But that should be a dynamic game, and the Colts will be up against it because San Diego plays their best ball at home, and it is tough to play at the Black Hole. It's still a big rivalry with these two fan bases. You won't see a lot of Charger faithful there, and as Marco said, especially 8:30 kickoff, those Charger fans that do have tickets, they may be going up on StubHub as we speak. But I still expect San Diego to take care of business. Eric Weddle, he's the guy that anchors that defense. They've been playing stout defense, and again, they are slowing down the opposition. If you can slow down a Dallas Cowboy team like they did in the second half last week, remember the Cowboys put up all 21 of their points in the second quarter. San Diego shut them out in the second half. I had San Diego, one of my plays, went 3-0 on Sunday, and looking to stay hot in the NFL. But I like San Diego to take care of business. I know Pryor will make a difference, but when your running game's banged up, and McFadden's been banged up, and then you lose your fullback, that's a big loss there for the Raiders as well. And their receiving core is not the best. They gave up on Hayward Bay, who's paying dividends right now for my Colts. I just don't see a lot of weapons for this Raider team. I don't see them being able to match San Diego, and I'm looking at a line at -4. I'll take my chances. I think San Diego wins this game somewhere between 7 and 14 points. I think it'll be close early. The crowd will be into it, but again, there'll be that lull, just like there was against the Redskins. Raiders were out 14-0. You're thinking, hey. And as a Raider fan, by third quarter, you're saying, hey. Same old, hey, Raj, Dwayne, it ain't happening. Where's rerun? It is a Raider rerun. That's what's going to happen here on late Sunday night, early Monday morning back on the East Coast football. Pregame.tv. Take the Chargers, lay the 4 points. I like the way this team's playing, and I like the way McCoy has them ready for each and every game. And again, they look like a team that has postseason written all over them. Year in, year out, Marco, as a Steeler fan, we've already penciled in Baltimore and Pittsburgh every year. Now we probably don't see either one of those teams making it unless the Ravens are able to get it going. Again, your Steelers 0-4, as crazy as it is, that division's still there for the taking, because when we see a Cincinnati team only score 6 points at Cleveland, lets you know that if the Steelers can just right the ship and get healthy a little bit on that offensive line, make some moves, that division is not over with by any stretch of the imagination.
Coming in, a lot of people thought that would have been one of the tougher divisions, and it's turning out.
Oh yeah, three teams you figured are battling.
Absolutely. Hey guys, that's it for this week. We covered 6 videos. We'll be back next week. As always, best of luck with all of your plays this weekend. He is Ken Thomson. I'm your host, Marco D'Angelo. We'll be back next Wednesday taping videos for you. The Tuesday crew will be in. Fezzik, VR. I think Brian Leonard's going to be out of town next week, so you'll get Fezzik in VR on Tuesday.
Brian's going to join us.
And then the following week, Brian's going to be making a shift to Wednesday. We'll have the 3-headed monster here starting in 2 weeks, so look forward to that. And listen to Ken Thomson, SportsX Radio, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9.
Marco's always on Monday, and Chuck Edel and I break down all the games against the number in rotation order every Friday night. And you can go back, archives, sportsxradio.com, or right here, pregame.com. They have it all spliced with no commercials, and you can just go right through it. And we love doing that show. That takes a ton of preparation. And Marco, I come off my best week, pregame.com, 5-1 on college, 3-0. On the NFL, so 8-1 last Saturday, Sunday.
Kudos to you,
that was my best 2 days.
Going. I can stay with you on the NFL. You're kicking my butt on the college. But that's it. We'll talk to you guys next week. Cash a lot of tickets.